Hey guys, welcome to my channel. It's me, Fola. If this is your first time seeing my face, you're welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back again. Welcome back. Today, I have a video for you and it's going to be about the Caregiver Pilot Program. So let me tell you, I've heard about this program before, but I never paid attention to it because I didn't know the details about it until it came across my way like some months ago and I decided to dig into it. Now I've decided to come here and share with you the information about the Caregiver Pilot Program. If you're interested in knowing about this program and how you can move to Canada with this program, stay tuned and we're gonna get right into the video.
When I walk into the kitchen, you saw the look on my face, you saw the look on my heart.
So you know, when I have my book here with me, I am spilling the tea. That means I've put in hours of research just to make this video for you. Let's get into the basics. What is the Caregiver Pilot Program? So the Caregiver Pilot Program is just a program to hire foreign people into Canada to come and work as a caregiver, and in turn Canada rewards them with permanent residency. You can apply for this program either inland or outland, which means you can apply for the Caregiver Pilot Program from outside of Canada or if you're into Canada. And there are two different streams for this Caregiver Pilot Program. The first one is the Child Care Pilot Program, and this is for people who's coming to Canada to care for a child, a minor under the age of 18. The NOC for this Child Care Pilot Program is NOC 4411. You can search it up. I'm going to put the link in the description box so you can see the job description for this one. And the second one is the Home Support Pilot. The Home Support Pilot is if you're coming to Canada to care for seniors, people with disability, to care for families. Home Support Worker NOC is NOC 4412. I'm just going to read it out the way I wrote it. So basically, this program provides caregivers with the opportunity to become permanent residents once they've had 2 years work experience in Canada, and this has to be outside of Quebec. So once you have 2 years work experience in Canada, apply for permanent residency under this program. So we're going to get into the steps in which this program works. So the first major step for this program is finding an employer. If you watch my AIPP video, this one is relatively easier because the employer you have to find does not have to be designated. It can be anybody. See, it can be your sister, it can be your brother, it can be your family members. You can find them on job boards. I was reading a forum where a lot of people that applied through this program actually are family members of the people that they are applying for. I read one whose sister had a child in Canada and she invited her younger sister to come care for them as a caregiver. I read one who invited her uncle. So it can literally be anybody that is inviting you to Canada, is sponsoring you and giving you an offer of employment to come work in Canada. So first step is finding an employer. When you find the employer has to give you a job offer. Like, okay, so I'm offering this person this job to come work as a caregiver to take care of my children. That is how it works. The employer has to fill out the form and give you a job offer. The good thing about this pilot program is it does not require LMIA. Before your employer actually gives you the job, you guys need to drop a plan. How many hours you're gonna work per week? Are you gonna leave in? Are you gonna leave out? What's your vacation hours like? What's your benefits? You have to draw that plan. It has to be formal. If you're Nigerian, we do something where we bring our families to come help in the house and maybe you don't pay them, there's no fixed wage, you send them to school or something. This cannot work in Canada. So you have to tell the government that, okay, this person that I'm gonna be employing, I'm gonna pay them this fixed wage per hour. This is how many hours they're gonna work in a week. This is their living condition. It cannot be informal because the person has to file their taxes and the pay has to be according to the province. For example, I'm in Nova Scotia. The minimum wage here is probably $12.90. So you have to pay that person according to the minimum wage of the province that you're inviting the person as. That is if you're an employer. So your employer has to do that. Employer has to make a plan. Will you be living in their home and will you be living outside of their home? I'll try to include the link of the form. I was going through the form and I see that the government is asking them, how many bedrooms do you have? How many kids do you have? Which makes sense because if the person you're inviting is going to be living in your home, you can't live in a 2-bedroom and have 2 kids. It's not gonna work. So you have to make provisions for them. So that is what has to be done on the part of the employer. Now I'm gonna get into the eligibility. What makes you eligible for this program? How do you qualify to come to Canada under this caregiver program? First step is that, like I've said it before, you have to have a job offer. That is known. It has to be a genuine job offer. I mentioned that a lot of people sponsor their family to come help them for this program. If I had a baby, for example, I can literally sponsor my cousin or my little sister and to come help me and take care of my kids, and I'm gonna pay them. But the job offer has to be genuine. The government always finds a way to know if it's genuine or not. It has to be genuine. It can't be used just as an opportunity to bring your sibling or your family member or your cousin to Canada and they wouldn't be working and you wouldn't be paying them. It doesn't work that way, because they would have to file their taxes at the end of the day and the government can see what is happening. So the first major thing is there's a job offer. The next thing is you have to have CLB 5. CLB 5 is listening 5, reading as 4, writing and speaking as 5. So you have to have a minimum of listening 5, reading 4, writing and speaking 5 in IELTS general training. The next one is you have to have your education credential assessment, and you have to have at least 1 year post-secondary school experience. So either a 1-year diploma, something that is comparable to a 1-year post-secondary education as it is in Canada. So another good thing about this program is you don't need work experience or education as a caregiver. This is what it states on the website, but you know I go deep into my research, right? I have done my research to actually find if this claim is true. I mean, Canada wouldn't lie on their website, but they also have things they put into consideration, right? So the website says, I'm going to read it out, no work experience or education is required as long as you meet the eligibility. That is what the website says. However, also on the website, it says that education, past experience and training is used to determine if you can do the work. Look at it. Even though they say you don't need work experience or education in caregiving, maybe as a nurse, a nanny, all of those things, they also say your education and your work experience is used to determine if you can do the work. And one of the major important eligibility is that you can actually do the work. So they're saying this and they're saying that. When I was reading this, I was kind of confused, like, so what are we to do? Do I need the education or do I not need the education? So like I do, I go and find the information. So I found this on a forum and on a website, and it says that your application can actually be refused by the visa officer based on the fact that you don't have work experience or you don't have the education. They can refuse you for thinking you cannot do the work. So usually they can say things like, I do not believe that you are able to do the work, which makes sense because they said here that education, experience and training determines if you can do the work. So basically I will just say that education, work experience, past training gives you an upper hand when applying through this train. For example, if you've had experience with children, maybe you studied education in school, you studied child education, you were a nurse, you worked in pediatrics, all of those things, it gives you an upper hand, so you can use that to have the upper hand and they can be interested in your application. You can always show this by either showing your certificates, showing work experience, showing pay stub, paid employment. You're applying for the child care one in things related to children, taking care of children and all of that. If you're applying for the home support one, maybe taking care of seniors, showing how you work with patients with dementia, all of that. That is one thing that is important. I also have to note that housekeepers are exempted and foster parents are also exempted. They don't count you being a housekeeper or being a foster parent as an experience that you can use to apply for this program. Another good thing about this program is there is no age restriction. I was reading one of my forums and a 40-year-old woman literally came to Canada to come help a niece. No age restriction. You can come at any age. I'm assuming if you're towards retirement age, it becomes iffy. But a 40-year-old woman aunt can come to help a niece. You can also come. I don't know how old you are, but I'm assuming that you can also come. The next thing is no proof of fund required. You don't need to show any proof of fund. And that makes sense because you're coming to Canada to work already. So the next thing I'm going to discuss is who can come with you. The good thing about this caregiver pilot program is that your family can come with you. You can bring your husband, your wife, your children. Your partners are eligible for open work permits, which means they can come to Canada with you and work anywhere. And your children are eligible for study permits if they are the age of going to school. So good, because 2 people in the family can literally be working and making money. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty. What is the process like? So it's a pretty long process, so I'm gonna need to consult my books. But the first process is find an employer. Find an employer. Then the next thing is get an offer of employment. Then after that, you submit your permanent residency and work permit application together. One thing I haven't mentioned is that the way this works is that when you get a job offer, when you found an employer and you want to apply, you have to submit your application for your permanent residency and your work permit at the same time. So what happens is, if you meet the criteria for permanent residency, you would be issued a work permit. The work permit is usually for 36 months, which is for 3 years. So once you submit your PR and your work permit application together, if you have family members coming, you submit PR, work permit, open work permit, and all of that jazz. If you meet the requirements, if they've determined that you are genuine and this job offer is valid, you will be issued a work permit that is valid for 3 years. According to the website, this process of issuing you the work permit takes about 12 months, 1 year, which is a long time. But yeah, 1 year. The work permit, once you get it, you can move to Canada. You can move to Canada with your family, start work, and start living your life. So with this work permit, it is occupation restricted, which means this work permit restricts you to the occupation that you've applied under. You can change employers, but it is occupation restricted. For example, if I was to apply for Nigeria and I got an employer here and I come to Canada, and after 6 months, my employer doesn't need me anymore, because my work permit is occupation restricted, I have to find another job as a caregiver in that same NOC code. After you get your work permit, you've moved here to Canada, you started working and living your life. After you've worked for 24 months, that is 2 years, you can apply for your permanent residency. Just look at it. After working for 24 months and you have 2 years work experience, you get to apply for your permanent residency. It is not even applying, because remember, you've already submitted your PR application when you started the process. That's what qualified you for the work experience. So it's just like you getting to message IRCC, hi, I have completed my 24 months as a caregiver in Canada. Here is proof. See my T4, see my pay stub, see my job letter and all of that. And you just send that to them to just let them know that you've completed your 24 months and they can start processing your PR at that point. So for the work experience, it doesn't have to be 24 months consecutively. It doesn't have to be 24 months in a row. Remember, you get 36 months work permit, 3 years. So it has to be 24 months within that 36 months. So you can literally go maybe 3 months without a job if you lose your employer. I mean, I didn't mean employer dying, but if you lose your job with your employer and you're in the process of finding another one, you have 12 extra months flexibility to get your 24 months. So it doesn't have to be 24 months in a row, which I feel like it's a very smart move, especially with the way life is pretty uncertain. Look at COVID, look at how it messed up a lot of things. That is very smart. I know I've said this before, but after completing 24 months work experience, you have to fill out a form and send it to IRCC just to notify them that you're qualified now, and they have to receive this form that you've completed 24 months before the 36th month after getting your work permit. So within that 3 years of getting your work permit, you have to let them know that you've completed 2 years experience in Canada. After you send in your proof, they will make a decision and see if you qualify for PR. At that point, they might ask you to do your medicals again, because you know medicals is valid for just 1 year, and do another police certificate. I know. Let's get into the cost implications for this program. There is no proof of fund. What else are we talking about? You don't need to show any proof of funds. So basically what you're going to be paying for is your application fee, your right of permanent residency fee, your work permit fee if you have your spouse coming, spousal open work permit fee if you have children coming, study permit fee, And what else are you going to be paying? You're going to be paying biometrics fee, and then you also pay fees like for your medicals, your police certificate, and everything that everybody who wants to come to Canada has to do. So that's the cost implication for that. Also, this is not on the website, but this is just something I read. So take it with a grain of salt. It's not Bible. And you know, sometimes people lie on the internet, but I also like to put things into consideration no matter what, if I think it's a lie. I read once that a visa officer actually needed someone to show proof of fund, or the employer to show proof of fund, because the wage the employer was willing to pay the family does not match up to the people coming. So an example I'm going to give is, imagine, for example, I have a child. I've given someone a job offer, and I'm paying them $13 per hour minimum wage in Nova Scotia, and they're a family of 5, for example. And they said the visa officer thought at that point, like, $13 per hour cannot sustain a family of 5, so someone has to show proof of fund. I don't know if it's true. I don't believe it is true because it is not on the website, but I just thought to mention it in this video. Okay, take it with a grain of salt. Speaking to you right now is June 2021. I don't remember the dates. The child care pilot program is closed for this year. I'm assuming they've met their threshold. But it opens January 1, 2022, which even makes it so good because you have 6 months to plan. If you intend to apply through this program, you have 6 months to plan, to find an employer, to figure out the details of the contract and how it's going to work. And then by January, when they open again, you can submit your application to them on the first day of the year and they can start processing it. So that's for childcare. However, for the home support worker, the program is still open for 2021. I think the childcare is more in demand because even when I was doing my research, I saw people talking more about the childcare than the home support. So a lot of people apply for the childcare more than the home support. So that's the information I have about this stream. Now to the major question that every single person will have in their head, including me. How do I find somebody that is going to give me a job offer? With this pilot program, like I said earlier, you can contact family, friend, you can talk to people if they know anyone in Canada and they need help. They can always give you a job offer. But if you don't have anyone, there is LinkedIn, there is Indeed, there is Job Bank where you can find job. And I also found a website for you guys. It's called CanadianNanny.ca. Let me see if I can screen record my phone using this website so you can see what it looks like. I'm gonna open up my tab right now. I'm gonna open up the Canadian Nanny. This is the website. I'm gonna put a recording on the screen. It says find qualified and local nannies in your area. Live in and live out nannies, part-time and full-time caregivers. I'm not sure if I mentioned earlier, but the work experience has to be full-time. So it has to be full-time, a minimum of 30 hours per week. Full-time, minimum of 30 hours per week for 24 months. But here is the website. You can check around the website and see what works for you. But the major one I'm going to show for people who are outside of Canada and looking to find an employer here is to go into this menu bar. You're going to see get a nanny job. It's loading, it's loading. And right here on my screen, it shows that there are 3,726 nanny jobs found. These are people that are looking for nannies. But this does not apply to everybody because if I put an ad for a nanny here, I probably want a nanny that lives 5 minutes away from me. For people in this situation who are outside of Canada, we would go into show filters and we'll go down and it's going to show work eligibility. We're going to click on willing to sponsor. So in this particular case, we have 361 people that are willing to sponsor you. We'll go on show 361 results. I would also go further into show filters and click on full-time because we need this job to be full-time and not part-time. When we click on full-time, it drastically reduces it to 109. So let's go. I'm just going to open a random one so you can see. It says here that is Joanne. Hi, Joanne. And Joanne lives in Ontario. Joanne says she's willing to pay $14 per hour for this job. And they said they are Mike and Joanne. They are looking to hire a full-time living nanny that is in Dundas, Ontario. I think that's where it's, okay, Hamilton. It's in Hamilton, Ontario. They are looking for the person to start by January 1, 2022 with some flexibility. I don't think that would work for anybody that is starting at this stage because work permits can literally take 1 year to process. They are willing to sponsor you. This is the most important part. See, availability, willing to sponsor. I can provide sponsorship. Learn more about work sponsorship or contact our support team. They said they can provide sponsorship. That's basically it. All you just have to do is look after 2 children. There's an infant and there's an early schooler. There's one person that is between 3 to 12 months and another child that's between 4 to 6. What else do you have to do? Housekeeping, homework, laundry. This is not a big deal. This is the real deal, guys. This program is still running as at the time that I have babies and I have kids and I get married. I am totally going to use this program because there is nothing like bringing somebody from back home to just take care of your babies, let them know about the culture. In all of the forums that I read, I see that Filipinos do this a lot. They bring people from back home to just help them take care of their babies, immerse them in that culture. As people here in Canada, we work 9 to 5, work so much. Daycares are expensive, especially if you have multiple kids. What's better than bringing a caregiver in to just take care of your babies and help them develop and grow while you also pay them and you also give another person an opportunity to be permanent residents in Canada. This is so beautiful. I love this pilot program so much. When I was reading it, I was just smiling and I was just happy. So I think, guys, if you qualify for it, if you have childcare experience, if you have support work experience, if you've been a nurse before, if you've taught children in elementary school, in daycare, this is a program that you might want to explore. It's so good. Even if you don't have these experiences, it's never too late to get a certification there, a training there, something to just put you at an edge over people who don't have any experiences at all. Anyway, this is the end of my video. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I was able to give you the information that can help you. Thank you so much, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Like this video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment below, share this video with your friends, your families who you think will be qualified for this caregiver program and who are interested in moving to Canada. I love Canada and I love all of the options that is given to people to move here and build the economy. We need to come here. Canada wants you here. I am on a journey to actually explore the multiple options that Canada has and bring them to my channel for people to know about it. Thank you so much, and I'm gonna see you in my next video, guys.